Hey everyone! So today I've decided to do a voiceover of my micro home build from when I was streaming the other day. It's a pretty easy build. It's completely tiny. It's 32 by 32, I believe. The micro home size, 32? Yeah, it's 32. I'm just double checking there. As you can kind of see, I'm figuring out what kind of shapes would be good to put this together and just making it the smallest size possible so your sim in the beginning can get the best quality of life, double everything, and then going from there. I'm gonna try and keep my voiceover as simple as possible, but as you can see, this isn't the shape that I finished off with. I was just experimenting with how I could effectively use 32 tiles and what shape would be best for like a bathroom, bedroom, everything, because I wanted to make sure that I had a separate bedroom and bathroom and living room. Usually I do like a little studio, but I figured I would try something new in this one. By doing the fencing on the outside, it doesn't count as tiles, but I really feel like it gives that extra privacy that you need to like have an outdoor garden area, have an outdoor eating area, something that the sim can hang out in without being in the way of everything. If you have never used this tree before, it is literally the best thing ever. Like, I love it for the fact that it can light stuff up, and it gives that magical feeling. Like, I feel like I'm from a fairy forest all of a sudden. So I really wanted to make sure that I had that in the build. I do more like outside decorating in a bit, but I wanted to start off by making sure I had that tree in there. So if you're wondering why I placed a tree and nothing else, that tree is just the best thing ever. I use it almost every time. So here I'm just trying to figure out which door to add into the tiny house, and I chose this one because not only is it really pretty and have a bunch of different colors, but it just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the place and feels a little bit like decoration while being usable. I can imagine that whoever lives in a tiny house would spend the extra time to paint their door when it's sunny outside, and that's something I would do. If I could, I would. So I wanted to kind of add that element here. I do love these windows for the bathroom, but for the design that this house is, I did end up scrapping them. I don't know how long they stay in here, but if you are designing a bathroom, I think they'd be great. I just didn't keep with them. Now, the hardest part with a tiny house is figuring out where you can have cabinets and where you can have countertop space and everything. So I put down the cheapest ones just to get an idea of how much space I truly do have for my sim to use. And yes, I finally put in lights. I remembered that lights are needed for people to see, even though I forget sometimes. I did put in lights. You can switch them out for better lights later if you choose to download this and use it for your own sim. And then I think after these cabinets, I was like, okay, what oven? And I got this expansion pack, and I love that yellow and that green I was raving about. And then you'll see this for like the next 5 minutes. I'm trying to get the stovetop to go on top because I feel like it should be able to go together. It should be allowed, but no, they don't want it to go together for some odd reason, which makes no sense to me, because I feel like I've seen people do that in real life. They've put them together. It's just, the yellow was so cute, and I love it with the green cabinets. I love it with the green fridge. But the fact that I can't put the stovetop on top of it, I'm still angry. I've been watching it, and I'm livid. I'm so angry at it. I think what's going on there is I'm like researching if it's even possible for me to add some cheats in that'll allow me to do it. So if you're wondering why I took a pause, yeah, I'm putting in the BB Move object. So if you do download this, it has the cheat so that way I can just make stuff fit a little better. I can squeeze it into the tiny spots, add little tiny trash cans, add little tiny details, and move it around. But unfortunately, it still did not let me put the stovetop on top of that oven. If I do it again, you'll see that in a moment. But if I don't, I'm still angry. Sims, please fix it. Now, the living space isn't really large enough for a living room, so I ended up going with putting like a living space inside of the bedroom and putting a little chess table that you'll see shortly out in the kitchen, because imagining it as if it was a real space, I feel as though you could use a chess table as a regular table. Even though the sim probably won't, they won't put their food down on the chess table. They could sit there and live their life while having a tiny spot to learn up their logic. So that is something that I do here in a moment. Right now, I'm just obsessing over the tiny details, which is the tiny candle and now a tiny desk. And I'll just kind of be quiet for a moment and allow you to enjoy the music and enjoy what I put together here, but making it a cozy, warm space. Now I do end up playtesting this bathroom here because that shower is one of my favorites just with how it fits into the space, and it honestly doesn't look that bad. So I'm just playtesting it here, making sure that everything is functional, that the sim is able to use the bathroom, use the shower, and get out of that little tiny corner. And they are. So if you're wondering, yes, everything in here is functional. Whenever I find pieces, even if I'm working on a different room, I do get sidetracked with my ADHD and end up focusing on that room all of a sudden and going back and forth. So that's what happened there. I ended up being like, yeah, the TV in that room would be perfect. And then, oh my God, I can fit a chess table here. So that's what's happening right now. I'm picking the lowest tier items so that way if anyone does decide to use this house, they can recognize what fits and then add their own personality on top of it. It is kind of bare bones basic while still being cute and functional. Now, I believe, yeah, I'm playtesting it right now. The chess table does function. You can still walk in and out, so you're able to have full access to everything. And without any mods, you will be okay without adding the BB cheats or any of that. So I'm just kind of fixing the door so that way it doesn't flip into the person but flip out. Yeah, there we go. I really do love the set that I'm working with right now for creating the exterior. Just because it comes with so many different pieces and so many different styles, I'm just getting so hyper fixated on what looks like it fits together and what fits with the angles and where would the pillars be. So just that's what's going on there. And I am not a good roof person. If you're looking for an expert on how to make roofs look good, that is not me. It's not me at all. So ignore this. The only thing I think I really start talking about in here when it comes to roofing is if you have the one expansion pack where you are allowed to start looking into like, if it's murky outside or clean air or dirty air, there's a roof tile that basically helps with electricity and bringing down the bill. That's the roofing that I ended up going with on this place, just to kind of, oh yeah, that solar shingle roof that has a power production of like 1. It's very minimal, but every tiny bit counts. Every bit counts. Every simoleon, okay? We need every simoleon. Now we are starting on all of the landscaping, all of the path work, all of the tiny details outside besides the tree that really tie the house together. I will never call myself an expert on this, so I'm learning and I'm just kind of trying out and seeing what works together and what makes it feel like a full home. So just bear with me. I'm experimenting. I feel like the tiny details, just different grass and different trees and all of those elements really help tie it together and make it feel more worn in and lived in. So those are the tiny details that I'm adding underneath the trees, underneath the bushes, underneath the paving, path work. Ignore my speaking. I'm gonna just let it go back to just the music. I was debating on whether or not to use the debug items, but chose that if I don't know about you, but whenever I get a house and I'm not using any of the debug items and I pick up a tree when I'm in like build mode and I can sell it and get a couple extra simoleons, it's kind of just, oh my god, I have some money, thank god I can sell this and pay my bills, or do whatever you need to do in the game. So that's why I like using these items in my build instead of debug. So if you chose to use this house and you wanted to sell the trees and use debug trees, you can easily do that for a little extra cash and still have the same effect that I have here. Just replace the tree with whatever you like. Also, a quick shout out to Ryan and Duvid. That's where the gifted is coming from. So to both of them, thank you so much again. I really do appreciate the support. This is just a tiny detail I really wanted to add in, having that little hangout area in the front, just that little tiny bench. I think it ties it together and it really feels like a home. And then I'm just getting really detail oriented on the pathwork right there. So yeah, making it look worn in. Not all fresh. I want it to look like someone's lived here for 1,000 years. Alright everyone, and that is the build. I'm just kind of going through and giving you guys a look through the entire house. If you do decide to download this house, please do let me know in the comments. I would love to see what people choose to do with their sim in this house. I don't think I shared part of it in this video, but I did end up putting a pond in the back, and as far as I'm aware, the pond is functional. And I added a few extra details, as you can kind of see here, making it a place where you can paint, you can relax and watch TV, you can be outside working in the garden, play chess in the kitchen. It just has so many possibilities. I'm really excited to use this in one of my own families as well. But yeah, that is the video. If you've enjoyed, please do let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye.